Hi there guys, I hope you are all having a good day and a happy new year. Now Anthony Joshua has explained what would happen in a fight between him and Deontay Wilder and what his game plan would be going into that fight. This is what Anthony Joshua had to say. He wouldn't be there to do that in the 7th round. I would knock him out. It's the heavyweight division. It's a heavyweight against heavyweight, champion against champion. This is a serious fight. So I ain't going to go in there and try and outbox him over 12 rounds because of his punching power as well. I've got to go in there and take him out. Don't let him get too comfortable in the ring with me. Wilder's got power. Not scary, but I know it's there. There are certain punches. Some are like concussive, some are stinging, and some punches like punches where they knock you out. One punch and you're out for the count. Wilder possesses that kind of power. It's about eliminating that power and just studying how to deal with it, really. We've done it. We've unified it in the space of 20 odd fights. He's had 40 odd fights. How come he hasn't managed to unify the division yet? If he's looking for it, we're the ones to do it with. And we're not hard to find. We've got a great team behind us, so reach out. Even though there are two at the minute, I'll let people decide who they think is the real heavyweight champion right now. I always say, we're all in the same era, same division. That fight has to happen. We just put on an amazing event. We're going to do another amazing event, God willing, in this new year. He can come and be a part of history. We're trying to achieve big things in boxing, and to add Wilder to my list would be an honour. So there we have it. That is what Anthony Joshua has had to say about Deontay Wilder, his resume, and how he would fight him. Now, Anthony Joshua, what he is saying is correct. I believe he does have to go in there and knock Deontay Wilder out. Not the same as Andy Ruiz Jr. Not necessarily try and keep away from his power and outbox him, outmaneuver him. And I mean, Andy Ruiz Jr. was a completely different fighter. Andy Ruiz Jr. had a granite chin and he's very, very fast and good on the inside. So why play to his strengths? And that was why Anthony Joshua chose the tactics that he did. Now, Deontay Wilder is a different prospect. Deontay Wilder isn't a great boxer, but he has one punch. But he is vulnerable himself. So I believe that Anthony Joshua does have to go and get him before Deontay Wilder gets to AJ. Now, how does he do that? Anthony Joshua, I believe, would make Deontay Wilder uncomfortable early because Deontay Wilder, as I said, is not a great boxer. He's never really been a great boxer, but he has one punch. So the likelihood of Deontay Wilder getting outboxed early is extremely likely. But Anthony Joshua must capitalize on that. Outbox Deontay Wilder, make him uncomfortable, and then take him out. He cannot allow him to become comfortable. He cannot allow him to get any of his own shots away because Deontay Wilder, he shells up early. I think, to be honest, he's a bit wary of his own chin. So I think early doors, Deontay Wilder is a bit wary of his opponent. That was plain to see in the Lewis Ortiz fight. Early on, he didn't really want to trade with Lewis Ortiz. He wasn't exchanging jabs at all. He wasn't really throwing much at Lewis Ortiz. He didn't land hardly any punches until that devastating punch in the 7th round. And fair play to him, he found that punch when he needed it. But early doors, Deontay Wilder does not like to trade off. He doesn't even like to throw many punches at all. He likes to back up and kind of just soak up a bit of punishment on the gloves and see if he can just stay in there and find that punch. Because against Lewis Ortiz, he lost every single round. So Deontay Wilder is not a boxer. He's a great fighter because he has that one punch, that equalizer that can end a fight at any point. But he's not a good boxer. So realistically, most people will outbox Deontay Wilder. It's just whether they can stand up to his power because that punch always lands. Against every single one of his opponents, that punch lands. So I think, to be honest, the way to beat Deontay Wilder is to get to him before he gets to you. And that seems to be the game plan that Anthony Joshua would put into motion if he got in there with Deontay Wilder. Now, obviously, Deontay Wilder is fighting Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury is a different prospect. He is something else completely. He's bigger than Wilder, he's stronger than Wilder, and he's a lot faster as well. And his boxing IQ is levels above Wilder as well. Meaning that Tyson Fury can outbox Deontay Wilder. And while he did get dropped twice in the first fight, he was able to get up. He rides shots so well. That is why Tyson Fury was able to get up, because each of the punches that he took, he was riding them, he was moving away from them. And that makes all the difference when you are taking a devastating punch like that of Wilder's. So that was why Tyson Fury was able to get up. And that is why it could mean that Deontay Wilder has his boogeyman in Tyson Fury. And that is the guy he is fighting next. So Anthony Joshua's game plan may not be needed. He may not have to fight Wilder for that undisputed. But I believe that Anthony Joshua will fight Deontay Wilder anyway, provided Deontay Wilder wants it after losing his WBC world title to Tyson Fury. Because if Deontay Wilder wants to fight Anthony Joshua, you can guarantee Joshua will fight him, whether Wilder has a belt or not, because Anthony Joshua wants Deontay Wilder on his resume, and he wants it to say KO round 3. That would be my prediction. I think Anthony Joshua would knock out Deontay Wilder in round 3. And the reason why is because of the game plan that Anthony Joshua has just explained, because he will go in there and try and take Deontay Wilder out, because he knows that Deontay Wilder possesses that right hand. He knows that Deontay Wilder can end the fight at any point. So any time that you give Deontay Wilder, he will take it. So that seems to be what Deontay Wilder is doing when he is in there. He's looking for spare time. He's looking for as much time as he can get for his opponent to make a mistake, just like Luis Ortiz did. Luis Ortiz thought, I'm outboxing this guy, I'm a better boxer, I'm landing frequently, my punches are scoring, I'm winning all of the rounds, I'm going to go looking for him, I can take this guy out. As soon as he done that, he came square and deviated from his game plan because Luis Ortiz was positioning himself to take Deontay Wilder's right hand out of the game. If you look at the positioning of Luis Ortiz, he was in a position where Deontay Wilder's right hand couldn't come into play, and if it did, Luis Ortiz could see it coming. But as soon as Luis Ortiz went looking for Wilder, his feet came square, and Wilder pushed out that jab like he always does. It's not even a heavy jab, it's a faint jab, it's a lazy jab, but it blurs the vision of the opponent. He brings that right hand in, Luis Ortiz doesn't see it coming, and it's all over. And that is the reason why Deontay Wilder is always waiting for that opportunity. He's running down the clock, waiting for his opponent to make a mistake. And the best thing to do is just don't allow yourself to make that mistake. Don't allow the fight to go on long enough for Deontay Wilder to come into the fight. Because Anthony Joshua knows that Deontay Wilder does possess that power. He knows he has that right hand. He's not afraid of it, but he knows it's there. That is why Anthony Joshua would go in there and try and take Deontay Wilder out. And that is why that is the best game plan for him. Not necessarily the best game plan for everyone. Tyson Fury can't go in there and do that. Tyson Fury needs to go in there and outbox Deontay Wilder, then take him out late on. Look to go to the body, because Tyson Fury can duck and dive those shots. He can move himself out of the way. Tyson Fury is a very skilled boxer. He has great ring IQ. So Tyson Fury can outbox Deontay Wilder for 7-8 rounds, start taking it to the body and break Deontay Wilder down. But Anthony Joshua does possess that concussive power to take Deontay Wilder out early doors, and that is what he will try and do. That is why this fight is so exciting. That is why we want to see it. And perhaps Deontay Wilder knows Anthony Joshua would go in there and try and take him out first thing. Because Deontay Wilder, sometimes he starts fast. I mean, obviously you have a first round KO against Dominic Breazeale. He has a lot of first round KOs as well. But Dominic Breazeale again created that opportunity for Deontay Wilder, much as many of Deontay Wilder's opponents do. And fair play to Wilder, he always finds that punch, but I just believe that Deontay Wilder doesn't want to fight Anthony Joshua because he knows that Anthony Joshua can do to him what he has been doing to other opponents. And perhaps that puts Deontay Wilder off. He knows that Anthony Joshua would go in there and look to KO him at any stage. And he knows that Anthony Joshua possesses the power to do that. You cannot give any punches away against Joshua. Look at the power against Andy Ruiz Jr. Look at that punch that landed in the first round that put Andy Ruiz Jr. on the back foot and opened that cut up. I mean, obviously, Andy Ruiz Jr. has a granite chin. Not much is going to knock him out. So that punch, you could see how heavy it was because it even made Andy Ruiz Jr.'s legs do a little dance. So Anthony Joshua possesses that kind of power. And Deontay Wilder knows that when he goes in there with AJ, that power will be there. And as I said, Anthony Joshua can do to Wilder what Wilder has been doing to opponents. And perhaps he would rather risk being outboxed by Tyson Fury than being knocked out by Anthony Joshua, because Anthony Joshua has revealed his game plan here. I mean, there's not much too intricate about it. Obviously, he's not given his whole game plan away of how he would break down Wilder, but it's pretty simple what Anthony Joshua's intentions would be going in there with Wilder. He wouldn't look to outbox him, he'd look to knock him out. Obviously, you've got to set things up. Everything must come off of the jab, and I believe that you should start with the jab and finish with it. Start with the jab, find your combinations, or even that straight right hand, and then finish with the jab to create that distance again. But you must move your head, I believe. When you're in there with a puncher, especially like Deontay Wilder, you must move your head. You cannot catch shots on the gloves. So obviously, if Anthony Joshua can slip a few shots and make Deontay Wilder pay, then Deontay Wilder will be wary of throwing. And as soon as he gets Deontay Wilder backtracking, that is when he can go in for the finish. But obviously, he's going to have to be careful because Deontay Wilder possesses that one-punch power and it can land at any point. It's so unorthodox and very fast as well. So that is why Anthony Joshua would have to be wary and give Deontay Wilder's power the respect it deserves. Guys, what are your thoughts on this? Anthony Joshua explaining his game plan for Deontay Wilder if he ever were to fight him, saying he would go in there and look for the knockout straight away. Guys, drop your thoughts in the comments below, click your thumbs up, and subscribe if you are new. And again, a very happy new year. Thanks, guys.